This is the Renault Kiger, easily Renault's most important launch in India since the Quid in 2015. Why? Because it's Renault's fighter in the highly competitive sub 4 meter B SUV segment. This is the hottest segment in the Indian car market today, with over 10 vehicles in the segment and the place you want to be if you want volumes. Which brings me to my second point. What are we doing with the car? We've tested it quite a bit before and driven it when it was launched last year. Well, we are here today to summarize our experiences, and we will do that by telling you 5 things that we liked about the Renault Kiger and 2 things that we think Renault could improve when they update the car the next time. Are you enjoying the content on our channel? Then do show us some love by hitting those like, share and subscribe buttons, and also hit that bell icon to be notified the instant we put out a new video. Also, what do you think of the Renault Kiger? Do leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For all the details on the Renault Kiger as well as the complete Renault range, do visit our website CarWale.com.
Bailando en la disco la canción soltera. Sé que todas tus amigas te dicen nada. Yo voy a llorar un río como maná. Eres loco pero yo te amo. Yo ya no sé ni decirte.
Launched in February 2021 and updated for the first time in March of this year, Kiger range has 5 trim levels across 2 petrol engines and 2 gearbox options. Prices at the time of filming this video were in the range of Rs 5.84 lakh to Rs 10.29 lakh ex-showroom Delhi for this top spec RXZ Turbo CVT dual tone model that we are driving today. The Renault Kiger range is offered with 2 petrol engines. There is a 1 litre naturally aspirated petrol which produces 72 bhp and 96 Nm of torque and can be had either with a 5-speed manual or a 5-speed automated manual. And then there's this engine which we are driving today, which is a 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo-petrol and can be had either with a 5-speed manual or a CVT, which is what our car has today. Now, having driven having driven all those combinations, I can kind of say that this is the most cohesive one. This feels like the one that the Alliance had their mind in while designing the car, as this feels, like I said, this feels the most cohesive and feels the nicest one to drive. Now, there's a difference of 8 Nm in the torque figure. With the manual you get 160 Nm of torque with this engine, whereas with the CVT that we are driving you get 152 Nm of torque, but that hardly makes a difference because peak torque comes in earlier, which means that you get more drivability and it's quicker for overtakes, and 8 Nm is not a particularly large number, so you don't really feel all that much difference. Now in terms of usage, this engine has that typical thrumminess of a 3-pot, but it's not not harsh or anything. So you get 3 drive modes, okay, and they alter the response of the throttle. In the first one is eco mode, which as the name suggests is the most economical mode, but if you're someone that enjoys your time behind the wheel, then eco mode isn't going to be your thing because it really dulls the engine response. Normal kinds of lifts it up a notch and is useful generally in city conditions, and sport mode is where things get really nice and you get access to all the torque and all the power, and car feels so much more livelier, feels so much faster. When you step on the throttle, the response is almost instant. See, you can see I just dabbed the throttle and it took off. We tested this engine and achieved the 20 to 80 kmph in-gear acceleration in 5.94 seconds, while the 40 to 100 kmph in-gear acceleration was achieved in 7.79 seconds. The all-important 0 to 100 kmph test was done in 10.72 seconds, an impressive figure for a car in this part of the market. Oh, and wait, there's more. We did a real-world fuel efficiency test and got a mileage of 10.38 kmpl in the city, 17.38 kmpl in the highway, and a combined number of 12.04 kmpl. For the record, Renault claims a figure of 18.24 kmpl for this engine and gearbox combination. Now, one of the advantages of this car is that it has a compact footprint, and that's a boon actually in city conditions where there's basically three factors involved. First is that it has a compact footprint. Second is the steering is actually easy and light to use. And third is you have decent visibility all around. Now, in terms of compact footprint, where that plays into, it's easy to judge gaps in traffic. It's easy to parallel park, especially if space is tight. And generally, in like we are in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, and space comes at a premium. And there, having a compact footprint means you're always at an advantage. Light steering means easy maneuverability. I mean, it goes 3 turns lock to lock, but that's really not an issue because making U-turns, parallel parking, that kind of thing, not an issue at all. Steering is light, so you don't have to really put in an effort. Now, visibility is mostly great all around, front, sides. You do have a large blind spot at the C-pillar on both sides, but RXL version onwards, you get a reverse camera. The reverse camera's resolution is not that great, and you don't get dynamic grid lines, but it works, right? And it's still better than just having parking sensors, and it does help you in tight situations, especially if you have to reverse out onto the road and then turn and have to drive in the direction of traffic. All in all, it actually scores really well on being a city car, and that's one of the reasons why we think that this is a pro for this car, and why we also think that engine option with both automatic transmission options, or rather this 1 litre petrol engine with the CVT and the 5-speed manual is the engine you should go for, and makes it a lot more fun to drive. At 3.91 meters and with a wheelbase of 2.5 meters, the Kiger is on par with everything else in the segment, and while on paper that may necessarily not look like a win, it's actually a very good thing because if it's on par, it's a noticed thing in the segment. Now, coming to the front seats, they're actually pretty decent. They have this nice pattern and this bolstering on the side, little bit on the soft side, but not really an issue. You get decent headroom, legroom with the driving seat adjusted to my position. From the RXL trim onwards, you get height adjustment for the driver's seat and tilt adjustment for the steering. It's a similar story on the passenger side too, as you get a decent amount of headroom and legroom, and of course the side bolstering. In terms of ergonomics, everything falls easily to hand, and it's a vertically stacked layout, which means that it's easy to gain muscle memory to remember where everything is, and that way you can keep your eyes on the road for longer. Now we are in the second row of the Renault Kiger, and here is what we have found out so far. One is it gets the same pattern as the first row, and there's enough knee room, headroom, as well as leg room, because you can slide your feet under the front seat with that happening due to the floor being relatively flat. You get 2 storage spaces in the door, storage spaces behind the front seat, and a center armrest with 2 cup holders and a mobile phone holder. The rear seats also fold down for expanded storage space. Now, one of the things that happens when you have a central air vent, now it being a nice feature, it reduces the amount of knee room and leg room for the center occupant, and thus you're best suited to 2 adults here. What's more, this part of the cabin is also low on shoulder space, which means that it's actually best suited to 2 adults, or if you want 3 kids. The boot is large at 405 litres, but the design of the car means you have a very high loading lip, and this means you will more often than not be resting heavy bags and boxes on the sills before loading into the boot. However, the seats do fold flat for additional storage space. Now, while it's certain that looks are subjective, there's no doubt that the Kiger is actually a really nice looking car. It has that quirkiness associated with French vehicles and stands out thanks to its angular lines, curvy shapes and of course bright color palette. Up front, you have the large double-slat Renault logo dominating the face, while the projector headlamps sit low down. In profile, you can see the black colored roof and these swanky looking 16-inch machined alloy wheels, which can be accessorized with contrast colors if you choose to do so. Renault has chosen to offer 16-inch wheels throughout the range, ensuring that the Kiger range has proportionate looks throughout. At the rear, this updated car gets these nice C-shaped tail lamps and a black cladding running between the lights. All versions of the Renault Kiger get dual front airbags, rear parking sensors, ABS with EBD, and a load limiter and pre-tensioner, but only for the driver's seat. From the RXT version and upwards, you get 4 airbags as standard. What's more, in the latest round of G NCAP safety test, the dual airbag version of the Kiger scored a 4-star safety rating for adult occupant protection and 2-star for child occupant protection. The Kiger is a good looking car and has enough design elements both inside and outside to help it stand out. But there's no getting away from the fact that Renault has had to make a few hard decisions when it comes to quality versus cost. It's an entry-level SUV built to a cost and still has a few rough edges here and there. Quality isn't as great as what one would find, say, in cars from Hyundai or Kia, and there are quite a few plastics which are unfortunately hard and scratchy and feel a segment down. Many of the components look to be carried over to more affordable and lower price Kwid, which is nice for a Kwid owner but not so much for someone paying significantly more. These are not deal breakers, but the rivals in the segment offer such better quality. At the time of writing the story, the Kiger got a major update in terms of features, now adding things like wireless charging, wireless smartphone connectivity, air purifier, and cruise control to the list. However, even the top of the line RXZ CVT Turbo dual tone model that we have driven today misses out on features like ventilated seats, 360-degree camera, tire pressure monitoring system, and connected car technology. These are all feel-good features that have now started cropping up across the segment in various cars. Of these, the Nissan Magnite, which is the Kiger's sister car, offers both a 360-degree camera and tire pressure monitoring system with its top spec models. So there you have it, 5 things that we liked about the Renault Kiger. It's great to use around the city. The automatic options make it a very convenient car to drive. There's loads of interior space. It looks very nice, and of course it scored 4 stars in the latest round of G NCAP crash test rating. On the flip side, it could do with better quality interiors, and of course it's missing some crucial feel-good features which we feel Renault should add the next time they update the car. For all the details on the Renault Kiger, do visit our website CarWale.com. Also, do you think we've missed something that we should have highlighted in the car? Do let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.